Hi, it's Charlene Sinjenko from Powerhouse, and I want to welcome Brit to a conversation today. I'm really pleased to be speaking with you, Brit, from Nevermore Toys and Games here in Gibson on the Sunshine Coast. Hi, Brit. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, thanks, Charlene.
We've been having these conversations with local business owners, um, leading up to an online conversation called the Sunshine Coast Business Recovery Forum on June 25th. And so grateful that people are willing to talk and just talk about what's been going on for them, how things are going now, what does it look like to reopen, what do you need? And so one of the things that I wanted you to reflect on, Britt, is let people know you're a new-ish business owner in the community, but I think you're not new to the community. And what inspired you to buy the store that you have, the experience you're trying to create? Tell me just maybe a little bit about that before we start.
So in 2013, I started working at Giggle and Bloom, so the store that I currently own. That's where it started, and I started working for a friend of mine. The previous owner, her name's Chelsea, and she was just like a beacon of light in the community. She'd started the store after she had lost her husband, and you could tell when you walked in here that this was a place that there was love and there was care. It was mainly focused on early childhood, and so in the purchase of the store, we had expanded that a little bit. My kids are a little bit older, so they're 8 and 9, and so we just added some to it to make it go a little bit past early childhood. So in the last 90 days, I've been through a lot, as I think a lot of small business owners here have been. My in-laws own a business on the coast, and so it's kind of been like a family thing. There's a healthy dose of anxiety about what the future is going to hold. But there's also been a lot of silver linings. So this time has taught me more than ever that I'm more resilient than I thought I was. For sure, being able to overcome certain things that I thought when I bought this business in August of 2019. So this is my first year. If I thought there was going to be a global pandemic that would shut us down for 3 months, and hindsight, I probably wouldn't have done the same things. But we're running with the hand that we've been dealt, and we're just trying to make the best of it. So I started the store looking to make an accessible space for families on the coast, so that it didn't matter how much money you made or how much money you had, that you could still find something that brought joy, made your life easier, enforced play and the power of play, and you could find it at any budget. And so that's what we had started doing in the store. We wanted to make it something that helps the community, but also something that I could involve my family with. So at the beginning of COVID, due to unforeseen circumstances, I was forced to rebrand the business. And so we had an added level of stress there. But basically it's been a blessing because it's become something more than I thought it would. We were both working and still had kids and had to kind of get through it. So that really forced me to be really intentional on where my kids fit into my business. And so now they come with me every day. So I mean, they're kids, so yeah, what a better place than a toy store.
Well, and I love what you told me earlier about the store sisters.
Yeah.
And I think it's so great that, the very place that you were drawn to invest in, because how important instilling family values is to you. Like, that's so apparent just from talking with you, and now you're modeling it, you're modeling what you believe. And I think that does come through. I think that's so incredible. And tell me a little bit about, I mean, we throw the word pivot and innovation around like everything when you're an entrepreneur, but like you really have been living, breathing, you know, just innovating almost on a daily basis. And when you have some cool, you know, ideas and really some traction to be excited about.
Luckily, we had gotten our store online a month before we were forced to shut. And so that was a big pivot, because already I'm trying to think, you know, a brick and mortar, people are walking into your doors and they can find their own stuff and they curate it themselves and they don't need as much assistance. But as soon as you're online, there's a lot more questions. I never thought about putting products that had the same SKU. I never thought about putting different colors because in person you can obviously see one is green and one is purple, but online it doesn't translate. So luckily we had done a lot of the legwork beforehand, and we continued during the closure to bump up the website, and we realized that we had to change our mentality about it. So rather than being afraid of, well, how will I do it, or mulling through it, we decided to jump in.
Just go.
And just go with it. We made a lot of mistakes along the way. People were really great. There were hiccups, but every day things got more and more streamlined. We figured out, okay, this isn't a great way to do this. We definitely were dinged for our own share of shipping, things like that, but we fine-tuned it over the last couple months. And I think the most important thing was that we didn't just sit on our hands, that I didn't immediately say to her, no, like I can't do that, or what about this problem, or what about that. I just kind of took it all in, digested it a little bit, and just started running with it and making mistakes as I go, but fixing it along the way. And I think a lot of the times we're afraid to jump into something full keel. And I think the most valuable lesson I learned through COVID was that I had to do that. I had to just run with ideas that I had to be able to stay a viable business. We had to create other income pathways. I started sewing masks in the evenings and my days off, and we started offering those as a product store. And this week we're launching wholesale for businesses for our masks through a wholesale inquiry site on our website, and then working on that. But it's, again, another thing that I haven't figured it all out, but I decided to run with it anyway, and
totally,
and just making the most of it.
What I love about your story, Brit, I mean, I think the mystery box subscription is brilliant. I really do, for that steady cash flow. But what I love about what you're saying is, I mean, none of us have this figured out. We really don't. And so, like, you know, all we can do is the best that we can do, and be brave enough to just give it a try and course correct as you go.
Exactly.
So, you know, kudos to you for doing that. And a big part of why we're pulling people together on the 25th of June is to just have these kind of conversations. Like, you know, what have you lived through? Like, you know, how are you doing? What are some of the things you've tried? What might we be able to do together? What, you know, like, just turning things over lots of different ways. And I think the biggest thing is just to really have people understand that none of us have this figured out. And we're a community of families trying to take care of our family and trying to take care of each other's families.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think just hearing your story, it makes me smile. We are a place that people come to raise their kids, or they come back to raise their kids. And I love what you're up to at Nevermore. And I think you've got some really great stuff. I know it's been tough, but I think you've got some great stuff in the brew right now.
Thanks.
So tell me, if I asked you about what you'd be looking for in a conversation, or what you would hope for in something like this business recovery forum, what kind of things come up for you?
I think just getting ideas from other entrepreneurs, because my experience is only my experience and I can
Right.
only learn from that, as far as unless I talk to other people.
Yeah.
And so what other people have a different journey, and maybe they've tried things that then I wouldn't have to test and retest and make mistakes along the way. So I think that we can all learn from each other. Our stores are different, but our journey is the same. And you can learn from someone who cuts hair the same way that you can learn from someone who cooks, even if that's not your industry. Because that's been the biggest thing, is that we are in a unique situation where we're all in the same boat. And things that I've learned I can impart to other people, but things that they've learned they can impart to me the same way. And I think that goes back to just finding an idea person, running with ideas instead of coming up with the no, I shouldn't do that, or no, why not. And sometimes it just helps to know that you're not alone.
So
And
much
that you're
so.
not the only person that's been experiencing the pivoting or hardships. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I really want to thank you for sharing part of your journey.
Thank you.
And also for being part of the June 25th lineup. Really excited to bring women and men in business together, different sectors, some people that have been in business a long time. And so we all have stuff that we can learn from each other. And I think the more that we cross pollinate between different types of business, that's where actually all the good juiciness comes from. So I'm really excited about it. Thank you so much for the conversation today, Brit. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, Charlene.
Thank you.